Hello. So I hope this uploads successfully because I'm like using my regular phone data, and sometimes when it uploads, it skips and stuff. Because I had to re-record a video upload yesterday. I had to re-record it because when I just use my regular data and I'm driving around in the car, it just like the service is not so great, the reception is not so great, and then when it tries to upload, it skips and skips. So hopefully this works. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to talk about something I saw, and I won't say too much until I get more clarity on it, but I'm going to tell you what I believe so far. So yesterday, I was sitting as I was re-recording. Okay, I was re-recording the title of that upload that I did again last night, called Seeing Root Chakras on Some People's Heads, Replacing the Crown, okay? And then I remember in that, maybe a few minutes in, I stopped what I was saying, okay? And I said, oh, I just saw something, right? Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I saw. It just made me a little ill because, see, I got to make sure what it's about because I know I was dealing with battles. And I just want to make sure, I know what that message is for. And hold on a second. So, as I was talking, I saw a barren land, B-A-R-R-E-N, land. I saw a very barren land, nothing, and I just saw like one billboard up. I don't know what was on the billboard or if it was empty. I'm not really sure. I saw one billboard, and then everything, it was just like a barren land, like nothing, like grass, like dirt with spots of grass. But then I'm in California too. I'm in a desert, so I see it like that. Maybe I saw the grass looking like that because I am in a desert, but that didn't have anything to do with my geographical location. So I inquired about that because to see what it was about. And what I got was people don't exist anymore. There's nothing here. But because a lot of us are still stuck on the program, in the ego self. A lot of people are still stuck in the ego self, even if the person is a spiritualist. They're still stuck on the ego self if they're continuing to work with something outside of themselves, like spirits to give them information, or my ancestors or the spirits. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's constantly something outside of self. And so it keeps you stuck in your ego, okay? And I'm not going to criticize, I'm just saying. So as long as because I'm working on what this battle is causing me to kind of rise up, because if I don't rise up in consciousness higher and higher and higher, then things will not get better for me. So I have no choice. It's almost like some of us have no choice but to rise all the way the hell up, because we're being brutally attacked to the point where the only thing to clear this out is to rise up for some of us. So it's not even like I'm better than anybody by rising up in my higher mind. I'm not better than anybody. It's not like I was, it's not like, how some people just, good planners, prioritize. That ain't got, I would meditate and do stuff every day, but the way I'm doing it now is because of a lot of battles, okay? And I'm ready for it to just like right now just have a little break, because it's gonna be another one that starts up. That's gonna be like Star Wars. Okay, so this is just like training wheels, okay? It's training wheels, like it ain't nothing compared to what's gonna have to happen, okay? So anyway, and it's training wheels to, not necessarily to me, it's training wheels to the ones that's putting me through this. Okay. It's training wheels to them, not to me. But so I saw when it just, the area just looked, it's like I saw nothing. I didn't see no people. I didn't see any cars. I didn't see any buildings. I didn't see any trees. I just saw barren land and one little billboard up. One little billboard. That's all I saw. And it came to me that that's what's really here, specifically in the United States of America. I said, that's what's really here. people are no longer here. Most people that you see, it's like a program. It's a computer. I told you we're in the virtual reality. It's like a computer program that's running. And we're seeing like egos. We're seeing a part of a computer program. When you see these buildings and the restaurants and the malls and all this stuff, we see a part of a computer program. Okay? But when you rise up in consciousness, like I have to been forced to really do, okay, been forced to do, when you really rise up in your higher mind, you see things for what they are. And I saw in the real world, because the physical world, the astral world, all of it's an illusion until you kind of get above the ninth dimension to the oversoul. But it's still you rising up higher in consciousness, even if you go up in those higher dimensions or whatever. Even if you go up in the dimensions, you're still rising up higher in consciousness and you're getting close to oneness, even though it could be still an illusion. You're still rising higher and getting closer and closer to your true self, okay? So the illusion is, the fifth dimension is an illusion. The sixth, it's all an illusion. There's no such thing as 5D, 5 minus 5D plus, like you have a 4D plus and a 4D minus. Well, I think when you get to fifth and sixth dimension, it's not going to be the minuses. I think it's going to be more like oneness. I think it used to be separated, and now it's going to have to be more about oneness, because that other stuff, that minus stuff, is going to be cut off. It's like it's going to be oneness. I'm not even going to say it's a positive. It's just oneness. But oneness on a higher in a higher mind, though, not in the lower type wars and stuff. Because you can have oneness, but it can be oneness towards wars and stuff, towards lower consciousness. You want oneness towards more of the higher type of consciousness, where everyone is kind of equal and it's not all that fighting and wars and stuff. Now, it will be a war to get to that point, because you have some entities that like to be diabolical, okay? Now, I want to get to the point, though, because that wasn't what I wanted to say. So the barren land is what the United States look like. Okay, a lot of people no longer exist. So what we're seeing is a computer running. We're just seeing a computer functioning. And it could have been like that for a long time. I want to say this. I know earlier in the last few years before, the COV started, and prior to that, everybody was talking about the age of Aquarius and fifth dimension and ascension and ascending. Now you don't hardly hear that no more. Why? Because they know the real plan is to take you down. And here's the thing. As long as these particular entities are running the world, it's not going to be a rise in consciousness, because these entities are not able to get that high. They're not able to get to high dimensions like that. Their consciousness is not able to rise like that. So they're not going to let you do it either. Okay, but they gave you the illusion that they was going to give you some freedom and allow it to happen. But as long as they are in charge, it's not going to happen, and you're going to continue to get lower. Now, this is what I saw. Because we're all connected. Even if you could be working on yourself and doing all this and that, okay, so maybe you're not seeing things. But this is what I saw. Because we are all still connected, and we all subconsciously agree to a lot of things, even though we meditate or do whatever we got to do to work on ourselves. It ain't got to be the meditation. Whatever you do to raise your consciousness. Okay, whether it's a smoke something, I don't know. Okay? We are still connected, especially if we're under a type of dome like the United States of America. You're still connected no matter what you do for yourself. You're still connected. You're not separated. And by you being connected like that to everything and everyone, that means that we have possibly been taken down to the first dimension. Now, because I was in a spiritual war, I saw what the first dimension looked like, because I was there. And you still see stores. What I saw was entities, and they don't have eyeballs, but you see the holes where the eyeballs belong. It stinks. And then you see another part where you see beings they look like humans, but they look like vampires. Like they got those vampire looking eyes. I saw a lot of black people like that. They got those vampire looking eyes, okay, like Twilight. I saw that. Okay. And then, I saw this plaza with these stores. And you know what? These are all illusions created by a lot of religion. Okay, so I saw this plaza, and it was a store inside this plaza on the first dimension called 666. Now, we know the 666 is nothing to be afraid of, okay? But because religion wanted to get you to be afraid of it, so that is the illusional world that's created in the first dimension. Because all of these are illusions, including 4D, 5D. It's all illusions, okay? So that's the illusional world that's created. And I saw in this dimension, I saw like they have carnivals, but then it looked messy. Like I saw a Ferris wheel that was like laying on the ground, like it was turned over, laying on the ground, a big old Ferris wheel. Like it looked sad. There's no sun. But then this sun is a simulator too, because we're inside of a computer system. So this sun that we see is kind of a simulator too. But yeah, so because I ended up in the first dimension because of the spiritual war that I was in, I saw all the stores, I saw houses. I mean, so the stuff that's still there. I've been in the second dimension. Like it's always dark, but you still have cars, but it's older looking cars. It's not like what you see like the Teslas and all that stuff. So you still got stuff there. But I'm saying is that, especially when they promote Gotham City and Batman, it's always dark. It's always dark. And that's the second dimension that they're taking you to. Okay, that's the second dimension that they're taking you to. You cannot have movies like Batman that get promoted. And you can't have these type of entities in power, Satanists, in Hollywood, the Hollywood elites, so-called elites, or whatever you want to call them. We cannot allow them to continue to run the world and think we're going to get somewhere to some fifth dimension as a collective. It ain't going to happen. And even if we do individual stuff, you're still connected, especially if you're under a dome like the United States of America. You're still connected to them. You're still connected even if you work on yourself. And so, very possibly, we're getting down to the first dimension. Even though there's some of us who are rising in consciousness, we're still connected. And I still saw things for what it was. And I saw a barren land. Okay? And also people. There's no people left. People are dead. There's no people left. There's just entities. Okay? Like, I was in the store. I said this on a previous upload. I was in the store. And, well, I was in this place called Jersey Mike's, okay? It was like where they make kind of subs and stuff. I was in Jersey Mike's earlier, like maybe a month ago or something like that, right? It got me like a little sub. And so like later on that day or the next day, sometimes I'm being shown stuff. I don't ask for it, but we just get shown things, when we close our eyes. And so I saw one of the employees, the ladies that worked there, a Caucasian lady. And like I said, I'm not making a big deal out of whatever her ethnicity is. I'm just describing who she is. A young lady, looked like she in her 20s with black hair. Okay. And she worked there at Jersey Mike's. And so when I was looking in my mind's eye, she looked like a cute little Caucasian girl with a nice personality, very sweet. That look, that girl next door kind of look and personality, like they so sweet. But when I was shown what they really look like underneath, it was it looked like the first dimensional beings that I saw when I was there. So that lets me know that we have people that what you see with your physical eye is an illusion. Okay, it's not real. Where you really are, people are. So it's a popular YouTuber guy too. Like he does a lot of food tours. Okay, and I don't want to call his name. He's very popular, have millions of subscribers on YouTube, and he travels a lot. And he's very nice. I mean, he's very inviting. Like, I like to look at his videos because his energy just seems so like, you like looking at him. He can lift you up. But then I saw what he really looked like. And this is all during when the COVID stuff started. I saw him, he had red eyes, and he looked like almost like a predator. I don't want to say the word demon because I understand what demons mean, and it's not always necessarily negative. But that's what the image of a demon that you've been given because of religion. That's what he looked like. Okay, red eyes and all that stuff, and just look evil, look real evil. So that let me know that we're not where we think that we are. We're not where we think we are. Even if we meditate and rise high in consciousness, and you under a dome like the United States, you still have a family, you still maybe congregate with your family, you still maybe congregate with your friends, you're still connected. You're still connected. And regardless of how high you raise yourself up, a part of you is still being drugged down to the first dimension too, by agreeing with the current powers that be. I mean, nobody really wanted to challenge COVID, not like that, not to get rid of it. They just want to say, well, the mask ain't going to help, which, okay, well, Fauci already said that. It is stop a droplet or two, but it's not going to stop it. So Fauci already said that. But people just want to go along because they wanted their life back, and they just like, okay, well, let me follow the rules because I just want to work, or nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to criticize it. Well, let me just follow the rules because, I mean, this is, a lot of us don't own stores. A lot of us don't own Target. A lot of us don't own. So when we go in these stores, you got to play by their rules, and you got to put on a face mask, and you got to do all that because you got to play by their rules. Okay. And so a lot of people just play ball because they wanted their life. They wanted to go on with life. But what happened is it hurt the humanity in the United States. Okay, it hurt humanity because what happened was when you think things are rising, but really people are dead. There's no more people. I remember a lady from New Jersey was on YouTube, and she said that she went inside this store and where she's from on the East Coast. And she said, this was like in 2020 when she said this, and she was like, where's all the people? Because she's a person who's high in consciousness, okay? So she was like, where's all the people? It's like you looking at bodies, but really what you're looking at is a computer program, because a lot of us, even though we could be high in consciousness, there's still a part of an ego left. If we still think we seeing cars and buildings and people, then there's a part of their ego left that's showing us the illusion, okay? Because when you really rise high in consciousness, like what she saw, she said, ain't no people here. You think you looking at bodies, but ain't nobody here for real. It's like that movie, like I was talking to somebody earlier today. It's like that movie, I Am Legend, where everything was just empty. That's what I saw. Everything is empty. There's nothing around. And so, like, when I see a lot of these people that look like regular old people that I like looking at right now when I look outside, when I see these folks for who they are, they look all cute and stuff. And then when I see what they look like in my mind's eye, they look like feeders. They look like zombies. So that lets me know, because it's the first dimension. It's the first dimension. Okay, and if we release the illusion for a second of the ego and just get into our higher mind and see what things really look like, you're gonna see a bunch of zombies walking around, or you're just gonna see a barren land. You're gonna see that nothing's here. You're gonna see that nothing's here. And so to end this, what I'm saying is that we can no longer, the people who are interested in something different, you're either going to fight spiritually or you're going to die spiritually. It's going to be one or the other. You're going to have to choose a side. No more going alone to get along. Okay? So the current people in power, they need to be overturned. Obviously, we can't fight them physically because there's no such thing as a physical. And they rule the illusional physical anyway. They rule the ego. You ain't going to be able to fight them in your ego. They're going to win. Okay? So you think you're going to want to bring guns or whatever and fight them with a fake physical battle, you're going to lose that battle, because they rule the air, they rule the illusion, they rule all that stuff, and you'll lose because they rule it. Okay, but if you get into your higher mind, your spiritual self, then that's when they're probably not going to have a chance, because they cannot rise in consciousness like you can rise. Okay, that's when they're going to lose. Okay. And we can no longer be around people who want to feed into negative stuff on media. I'm sorry. We can't do it no more. We can't do it. So that means, because I'm not leaving the United States of America. I'm not told to leave. Everybody ain't told to run away. Everybody's not told. And I don't want to call it run away, because if Spirit told you to go somewhere, then you listen to what your higher mind tell you to do. So I'm not going to call that running if you're being told by Spirit to go somewhere. I'm not going to call that running, because you got to be obedient, or something bad is going to happen to you if you don't listen to your higher mind. But all of us ain't told to go nowhere. So people like, well, you need to leave United Snakes of America. No, you need to, look, stop it already. Everybody ain't told to do that. Everybody's not told to do that. Everybody's not told to stock up. Everybody's not told to stock up for a year. Stock up for 2 years. Because the only thing that you're doing is you're giving the enemies more room to do what they do and to be more diabolical. Oh, I need to stock up for the next 20 years to make sure I got food for 20 years. Okay, but what you're doing is you want to take care of yourself, but you still giving room to the diabolical people to rule. You're not doing nothing to move them out the way. You just want to keep making sure you're comfortable, and you're stuck in your physical, human, low consciousness self, trying to be comfortable with food, when we really should be learning how to manifest food without having to go buy something. All of us, me too. But we just stuck wanting to be in this physical, dense body or dense mind, because the bodies don't exist. We're in a virtual reality, so the mind is what's dense. Okay? And so when you say just, oh, let's stock up for a year or 20 years, then it's like there's no plan to rise in spirituality. I get that you need to be prepared while you're trying to move them out the way. You need to prepare yourself. But at the same time, it's not a good idea just to say, okay, well, I just need to get all this and buy all this and get all this gas and get all this food and make sure, it's like you're not really planning to do anything to them. You just want to be comfortable. And I just got news. It ain't going to happen. And you're going to just end up you're going to end up de-evolving. And when I say you, I'm not talking about the people who's listening. I'm not saying that. I'm just speaking in general. I don't mean the people who's listening. I'm not like necessarily talking to you. I just mean in general. And people like that is going to end up de-evolving, because what they're doing is they have no interest in evolving or rising in consciousness. They just want to make sure they got food to eat. They just want to make sure that their physical body is still okay and still safe. And they want to make sure they can still live their physical life. But see, all of this is happening because it's time for a lot of people to rise up above that physical mentality, because it is a mentality. It's only mental. So that means even having a physical body and having to eat food is all a part of your mind. It's like, I heard a guy say this on YouTube, and it's like what this character said on The Matrix. Said if he would enjoy, it was a character on The Matrix that said he would enjoy the steak a lot more if he knew it was there. Like, he knew the steak wasn't there. That's how much awareness that person, that character on The Matrix had. That person had so much awareness that they could not enjoy the steak like they wanted to enjoy it, because they were so increased in their awareness that they knew that steak was not there. So the food that we eat when we have a plate in front of us, it's not really there. But because of where we are, where our mind is, we still go and buy food, and we still go and eat off a plate. But when you rise up high enough in consciousness like that person on The Matrix did, you're going to end up manifesting that plate right in front of your face, because now your mind is rich. It's all mind. It's all mind. Okay? So I say that to say, and I'm going to end this, that we can no longer be in agreement with people. If people want to agree with what these diabolical beings are doing, they're taking you to lower dimensions. You're already in hell. I saw what we are. A lot of people that I think I'm seeing walking around, they're zombies. When I see what they are, for real, I see zombies. But they look nice and clean on the outside with my physical eyes. But when I see them with my mind's eye, they're zombies. They're zombies and they're feeders. Okay? That's what I see with my mind's eye. I can no longer agree to this stuff that's going on. I can no longer agree. And so it's going to be either or. It's time to pick a side. I pick my side. I don't agree with this no more. I don't agree. Well, let's get a side hustle because they raising gas prices. They causing these wars. No. Yeah, I got to do what I got to do to make money because I have to keep working on my spiritual self. Yeah. But I have to choose a side. I cannot live with them any longer. I cannot. And I cannot live with people, regardless of whether it's family, whoever it is, that's going to continue to just want to play ball because they keep trying to keep their life. But they don't understand that they're actually dead. It's like the church of Laodicea. I'm not a Christian, but I'm not against scripture either. It's like the church of Laodicea who felt like they were alive, but they're really dead. This is what I'm seeing right now. This is what I'm seeing. A lot of people are dead, but they're trying so hard. Oh, let's do this. Let's get this money. Let's get this money. But inside, with my mind's eye, when them people got all these millions of dollars, when I look at what they look like in my mind's eye, they're freaking zombies. They don't have a soul no more. They don't even have a soul. But they got millions of dollars, and I'm not against millions of dollars as long as you understand who you are and you still connected to your true self. I'm not against money, period. Okay, that's what it takes to live in this current system. So I can't be against it because I gotta pay bills too. I gotta pay for stuff, so I can't be against it. That don't make no sense. But yeah, that's all I got to say is that it's time to pick a side. Pick a side. Either you're going to just try to keep your life the way it is and stay in line with the diabolical beings, but I'm telling you, you're already in the first dimension, especially if you're just trying to preserve your life. And let me get this extra side hustle so I can pay my bills. But then you ain't doing nothing. And I'm saying you in general. I'm not talking about you that's listening. You ain't doing nothing, even if it's prayer, even if it's meditation. You ain't doing nothing to move these jackass. I ain't gonna call no names. We ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing to move them out the way. You're just trying to preserve your life. You already lost your life, and they're gonna drag you to the point where you are so disconnected from your soul that you're nothing but a computer program. You're nothing but an ego, and you're gonna end up being deleted from the doggone larger consciousness system. And that's it. You're no more. That's it. So you can be in agreement with that, trying to hold on to your life and agree with these entities that's killing people's souls. Or then you can get on the other side where you say, I can't do this no more. I can't keep letting you drag me to hell like that. I can't keep letting you drag me further into the underworld. I can't let you do it no more. I'm tired of them in rulership. It's time for the so-called earth to rise, which might not be its real name, but that's fine. It's time for the so-called earth to rise, and as long as these entities are in power, you're going to constantly be drawn down further into hell, and it's already happening. Because when you promote in Gotham City, I'm telling you, me spending a lot of time in the second dimension because of what happened to me as a little girl. I mean, I was killed as a little girl, okay, basically. So I spent a lot of time in the second dimension, and that's Gotham City. It's always dark. It's always dark. That's Gotham City. But then you're going to eventually be taken down to the first dimension where you see these beings that look like humans, but they're not fully developed. So they don't have eyeballs in the place where they're supposed to. They have holes there, and they have a hole where the nose is supposed to be because they're not fully developed like a 3D person. And then you're going to see vampires with vampire-looking eyes. You're going to see people that look like humans, but then their eyes going to look like those beings on Twilight, the movie. That's what you're going to end up seeing. And eventually, you're going to get to a point where the illusion is going to be removed from you. And you're going to see these creatures for what they are, and it's going to be hard to come out of it. But that's it. Make a decision now, because I got to go. I don't feel like going. I would like to talk for another 30 minutes if I could, but see, I got things I got to do. But I'm about to say, hey, feel free to support. Now, let me stop. But no, I can go a little bit longer, but because I have like responsibilities, I can't, talk like some people that's been on YouTube for 5 hours. Those, and I'm not asking for nothing, but those people are supported. And I'm not asking nobody for nothing, because I record with a black screen. I don't do nothing special, so I ain't asking nobody for nothing, okay? But those people that stay online for like 5 hours at a time, they get support as well, okay? And so they can do that. They don't have to worry about having to do other stuff to pay their bills because they get the support, and that's fine. I'm not telling nobody to do nothing for me because I'm not doing nothing that special, right? So I'm not asking for nothing, but that's all I'm saying is I can talk a lot longer, but I got things to do, and so now I have to get off, okay? But anyway, that'll be it though. Just pick a side, and if you want to pick to just hold on to your life, but don't do nothing to move these entities out the way that's in charge. but you want to hold on to your life and just get your money, well, then just be prepared to be deleted from the system and be permanently disconnected from your soul. That's all I'm saying. That's all you got. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. Choose a side, okay? Even if you lose, I don't care. It ain't going to be no loss, but I mean, even if you feel like you're going to lose, fight anyway. If you don't want them keep dragging you to hell, to further hells, then it's going to be just fight. Just fight. Because if you don't fight, you're going to die anyway. So fight. That's all I got to say, and I will talk later.